The sky over Akka once shimmered with its large moon Ikro. Beneath them, the Kopats thrived, not in scattered tribes or fractured nations, but in harmony born of precision. Their cities spiraled into the clouds, crafted from mineral-veined stone that caught starlight and glowed softly at night. To speak was to build. The Kopat tongue, laced with logic, allowed architects to diagram towers mid-conversation and poets to encode entire philosophies in a single phrase. Old recordings still echo through the halls of their remaining archives, lessons etched in resonant stone. "We are clarity, not chaos," one chant begins. "Truth is the lens through which we see." Young Kopats repeated this during their first trials, sharpening their minds like blades. But even truth could fracture. The Council of Thought, the ruling assembly of scholars, philosophers, and data holders, once dismissed a fringe theory, an ancient astronomical prediction etched into bone long before orbit-tracking satellites were common. The prophecy spoke of an eye of fire falling from the void, a force that would separate the Kopats until a great war would one day reunite them. Most dismissed it as myth. Still, a few old minds kept watch, their eyes tilted skyward. Then came Ekro, an asteroid that posed no immediate threat, but the Kopats saw it as an opportunity, a perfect target to test their most advanced weapons. A strategist stood on the observatory platform, arms clasped behind his back, watching as the beams fired. He had run the simulations 100 times. Every model predicted success. The numbers had never lied before. But the asteroid kept coming. The laser beams merely grazed Ekro's outer shell, nudging its path subtly off course. Ekro endured the blast. Its trajectory shifted, but not away. It moved, like fate drawn to flame toward Akka. In the aftermath, panic rippled through command halls and learning chambers. Calculations showed the asteroid would strike the planet in just under 50 hours. Desperate, the Kopats resolved to fire again, hoping to alter its course. Preparing the second shot took another 24 hours. When it finally launched, the beam barely nudged the asteroid. Its trajectory bent, but not away. Instead, it accelerated, angling even more directly toward the planet. After the second attempt, it became clear. Nothing could stop the impact. Philosophers, engineers, and ethicists debated fiercely over what to do next, but the conclusion was inescapable. The impact was coming. The asteroid breached the atmosphere and then fractured. The largest fragments, following the asteroid's new trajectory, converged on the planet's magnetic south pole. When they struck, the devastation was unlike anything recorded in Kopat history. The impacts triggered a chain reaction deep within Akka's mantle. Tectonic plates fractured, pressure systems buckled, and then the unimaginable happened. The force of the multiple impacts was so immense that it affected Akka's rotation. The planet tilted, its axis shifted nearly a quarter turn. The consequences were immediate and irreversible. One hemisphere was plunged into perpetual night, submerged in water and cloaked in silence. The other turned fully toward the sun, scorched beneath unrelenting heat, light, and seismic upheaval. Storms lost rhythm. Akka screamed. A mountain range collapsed. Oceans surged and swallowed cities. In the eastern jungles, molten plasma burst from the earth like inverted waterfalls, turning the forests into raging furnaces. Akka had become a world of extremes, a planet cleaved into twilight and flame. Upon impact, the continent of Erka folded into itself. Oceans rose, entire cities vanished beneath molten sky. The Kopats, proud stewards of reason and symmetry, were scattered across a world suddenly stripped of order. After this catastrophe, and after centuries had passed, survivors emerged into a world redrawn. They salvaged what they could. Language tablets, fusion converters, fragments of observatories buried beneath ash. It was not only their civilization that had collapsed, but also their sense of time. Before the fall, a Kopat could chart the past with mathematical elegance. After it, there were only years named for pain. Technological regression wasn't a choice, it was a necessity. With only scraps of memory and will, they rebuilt from stone and metal. On the orbital city of Ikro, the story took a different path. Built on Akka's only natural satellite, Ikro had once been a beacon of progress. Elegant towers and self-sustaining ecosystems reflected the Kopats' ambition, but strict laws kept it from becoming permanent. No one lived there more than 2 years. No child was born there. It was a place of vision, not home. But when Ekro approached, emergency protocols shifted everything. The council approved a mass migration to Ikro. On Ikro, the situation became dire. The city, built for 100,000, now held over 300,000 refugees. Oxygen generators strained to maintain breathable air. Gravity simulations reached only 70% of Aka's pull. People moved slowly. Breathing hurt. Every step felt wrong. Water was chemically purified. Food was created from waste. Taste ceased to matter. Function was everything. Ikro, once a symbol of possibility, had become a crucible. And what emerged from that crucible was not quite Kopat. They called themselves Koats. Their bodies changed, subtly at first. Bone mass decreased. Height shortened. Muscles receded. Their nervous systems rebalanced to conserve every resource. Adaptation became evolution. They became lighter, faster, but more fragile. Optimized not for power, but for efficiency and low-gravity survival. Meanwhile, on shattered Aka, the Kopats who survived faced a different kind of transformation. The nanoscopic organisms that once healed them now acted with urgency. In response to unbreathable air, hostile terrain, and extreme fluctuations, the bodies of the Kopats mutated. They grew larger, denser, stronger. Their skin hardened to endure chemical burns. Their eyes adapted to ash. Their lungs learned to breathe poison and find oxygen hidden in dust. 1,000 years passed. Stone eroded, names faded, and the stars above Aka shifted like silent witnesses. The Kopats became creatures of muscle and myth, towering, fierce. Their minds remained sharp, but their technology had fractured beyond repair. Gone were the days of star maps and debate chambers. Now, they spoke through strength and survival. The Koats spent generations focused on returning. Every scrap of knowledge, every bite of processing power was poured into a singular objective: to reach Aka once more. Their scientists, though fewer in number, refined engines capable of enduring the descent through the planet's hostile skies. Many missions failed, some never returned, but one finally did. Aka was beginning to heal. It had become a viable, though still perilous world. A place the Koats could once again call home. That successful mission would change their future forever. It was led by one of Ikro's most revered scientists, Tekra. Tekra stepped onto scorched soil. She had memorized its composition, recited its molecular profile in childhood. But now, beneath a sky scarred by fire and time, it no longer felt like data. It felt like belonging. Her hands trembled as she placed the first regenerative seed, sealed in a stasis pod. The capsule hissed. The Earth responded. That moment marked the first true attempt to bridge the divide between Kopats and Koats. And from that moment, the seed of reunion began to grow. Now, in this war, they fight as one. The Kopats bring power, endurance, and presence. The Koats bring technology, insight, and vision. Together, they are prepared. In the trial of evolution, they will not face it divided. Though they evolved in opposite directions, one toward strength, the other toward intellect, Kopats and Koats now stand united. In the face of rising threats, they have forged an alliance not of convenience, but of memory and blood. They remember who they were, and what they can become. Together, they are a force reborn,